And we're live. Let's see if we got some sound. Good morning. I can see you guys already in here. Hi, Dr. Krieger and John. Let's see if we kick on. And it is Friday, by the way, June 13th. Hard to say that has already happened. We've got a good crowd here already waiting. It's a good sign when the audio, the video, everything works the first time. All right. Hey, listen, I hope you guys are off to a great summer so far. It is a warm but a little cloudy Friday. I intend to make today not a 90-minute session, but I do want to cover a topic that I think a lot of you guys have been asking about. Good morning, Lloyd. Good morning, John. Good morning, Dr. Krieger. And the rest of you guys, if you want to say hi, I'd love it. Just give a wave. Today, I want to cover a topic that's really in preparation for what's to come, which is to say, I created about 6 months ago the Media Hub client. And the Media Hub client was based upon my own particular needs that, let's just say you're doing business for yourself or you're doing business for clients. We already offer through the systems that we've got a cloud-based CDN through Cloudflare enterprise level host. It's included in your Minute Launch Starter or Pro. If you need an extra one, you can just add an extra one on for $20. Now, think of it like this. You've already got a media and directory and other kind of optimized source for stuff. It's already CDN, cloud-based. It's $20 a month. Good morning, Julie. Hey, and Dr. Hoover, good morning. Good to see you and the doggies today. So you've already got a media optimized hub. It already has cloud CDN distribution around the world. It's $20 a month. Spence has been with many of you guys, actually as clients and customers, vibe coding and creating essentially a stack of things that are machines in a factory that will be controlled. And I'm going to share some of the new updates as of today with the Minute Launch AI. Doesn't it make sense that everything and anything that you create or think is important from the standpoint of media, sales, marketing, landing pages, content, and your own memory should be contained in that hub and accessible to both you and your Jarvis? Put on the mask, Tony Stark. Now, what I mean is this. As part of my normal rehab, especially in the summertime, I like to start my day in the hot tub. I have one of those really fun and easy little inflatable ones in the backyard. Or I might be in my inexpensive Amazon $90 sauna that I have inside. Either way, my brain is thinking of all these various things that I feel are important. What I've been doing lately, and I'm going to share this on the screen with you, I'll give you full disclosure. I've been using my Slack account. I have a special channel inside my own Slack account called Discoveries, and I'll just use my phone, or I'll talk into my into my ChatGPT voice client or my Claude voice client on the phone. And I'll say, like, this is an idea I have, save it for me. And what I've been doing is sending it to my Slack channel. So I've got this Slack channel going on now 10 years or whatever it's been of just all my stuff. But it makes no sense to do that anymore. What makes more sense is to have one hub that for myself and my various businesses acts as a centerpiece for everything that I think is useful, that I might want to build, that has the media that I've created or I have created for me. Okay, so let's dive in, and I'm going to share my screen. I've got a lot on my desktop. Julie and I have been building out her solution, and one of the things that I can validate now, Julie, by the way, I last left you yesterday afternoon, is that we've been vibe coding her solution, and we're moved into what I call phase 2. And that is that with the vibe coding stuff, we've been able to essentially create an incredible solution for her business that has eliminated some of the intermediary plugins that we previously needed, right? So ACF Pro, bye-bye, don't need it anymore. Since Dr. Hoover's here today, he and I have done some amazing things for his business that have used some of these techniques as well, because he's in the supplement business and for some of the things with WooCommerce and sales funnels and marketing. And so what I'm looking for is for you guys, as you've been, to continue on the journey with me as I further refine how can we make this all a system that's not only better for you to use to run your business, but actually to run your business from a mobile phone, to run it from your desktop, to run it from your site. And if you are inclined and want to be an intermediary, like John, for example, and have other people who come to you as an expert. How can I give you the tool set and the systems where bang, they just press a button, get exactly what it is that you feel they need, but the content may be yours, the tool set, the methods, the systems are all those that I've created working with you or as part of the community that you've got here. Okay, without further ado, let's do a little introduction. I'm going to start just talking about the media part of stuff. If I share my desktop, which let me share my desktop first. This is going to be kind of crazy. It's going to be a little too big for most of you guys, but I don't know if there's a better way to do it. So let me try to do this. You know what I can do? Maybe I can go with Slack into here. Hold on. I want to show you what Spence has been doing. Let me see if I can sign into my own Discovery channel here. Let's see if it's open. I don't think there's anything that's going to embarrass me here, but no, it opened it in a different window. Okay, so that was not helpful. I'm going to do this. I'm going to share my desktop. And then I want to give you set the stage of the Slack thing and then move towards what we've been setting up for today, which is the Media Marketing Mind Hub. So I got to remove that and then I don't know why I have the premium version of StreamYard. I don't know why it doesn't let me set up sharing more than one thing. I really don't. This is going to get kind of wacky. So, actually what I'll do is I'll just share Slack. Sorry, guys. I hate it when I have to be all, hold on one second. I'm about to do something, but say Levy. One of these is Slack. There it is. Okay. So here inside my Slack, again, when I'm the only one in here right now because it used to have Luke in here, but Luke and I are not working in this channel anymore. If I go into my Slack, you can see some old stuff. Here is essentially what I do. I have my mobile phone, and then I just sort of dump everything in here whenever I have a good idea or whether I'm reading something. Good morning, Jason. Good to see you guys as well. So whenever I'm working on my phone, I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's not anything special, but it has in it the ability to say, save this, share this too. And I made a connector that just sends it into my Discovery channel. Look, it's e-bikes. It's a dual battery, 2,000 watt motor that does 900 miles an hour. But all seriousness, anytime anything comes in, I put in here because this has allowed me to save and share. It's not a great tool for future reference for a couple of reasons. Number one, Slack has started to tell me that they're deleting all my stuff from a previous year. Second of all, it doesn't have a search engine or directory or capability. Third of all, it's not ready to paste or post into WordPress. Fourth of all, it's not connected to any kind of meaningful MCP or AI. So all the stuff I have in here is sort of like, well, I'm too lazy to use one of those bookmarking tools, and emailing it to myself was nice, but then I always forget what I've got in there. So this is what I'm trying to essentially replace as a starting point for what if I just have my own hub, okay? Now, with regard to, I'm going to go back now to the other screen. With regard to what I had done in the past, I had created before this AI madness kicked in, the media hub for WordPress. And so I'm going to demonstrate that to you here. Let me move a couple things out of the way. I've got two sites. Here is an office hours blank site. Think of this as the client. If you have one or more websites, best if they're WordPress, because that's what this is running on. You have one or more WordPress websites and you want to have the AI tool or you be able to access the things that you've previously thought of and saved, created and saved, acquired and saved, whether they're organized in the form of media or documents or LLM context files, it makes no difference. And instead of having to junk up one of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses with duplicative stuff, like your logo, like your image, like your branding thing, like the story that you're going to say to 5 or 6 different places. Or for that matter, if you have clients, let's say you're providing to your clients, like John, this would apply to you, or Dr. Krieger, this would apply to you. Let's say you have clients for whom you're providing content. It makes more sense that you could do one too many using the methodology I'm going to show you by having a media marketing and mind hub. What does John have as a good idea for the people that are in your audience who are buying from you? What kind of content have you created for them? It could be in the form of preconceived fluency around marketing campaigns. For Dr. Hoover, right? These could be practitioners. I could go down the list of each of you. Julia, it could be skeet shooting clubs. Jason, it could be everything to do from AI this to AI that. So by having a hub, starting today, I'm going to show you with the media part, you have the ability to provide a value added service or software that you can charge for, but it's already pre-built to work with all of our tools. So here is the client. And then this site here, I've called Media Hub. It has nothing on it. It's the intention here is to make it nondescript. Now, a thing came up this week, and Jason, I'm going to refer to you. Jason, when we were working together, experienced a problem that I have experienced, which is why I have 1WD. 1WD TV was a business that I ran in the midsection of my WordPress career, where I was working with Dinas Graveris at firstwebdesigner.com. And there was firstwebdesigner.com, which is really long. And then we together created 1WD.tv. As I've said many times, I hate this domain. I hate it with a passion. It's impossible to spell. It's hard to remember. Everybody wants to do 1WDTV.com, or they say ONE. Junk. But you know what it is? It's super duper 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 short. So step one, having a media marketing and mind hub is the opportunity for you to go out and shop using this technique for a stupidly simple short name. I use instantdomainsearch.com. You can use whatever you want. The reason I was doing some research with Nick, and we were talking about this topic. Easy to say, easy to spell, easy to remember. You can find something stupidly short and easy. All I would recommend you do is take whatever your name might be. Like, let's say, for example, my business was about, I'm going to use something that's like trikes, right? I fly trikes, or e-bikes, okay? If I type e-bike, obviously that's not available, right? But who cares? Let's just remove a couple letters. Look, I'm down to 2 letters. I don't know if I'm going to get away with E. That's going to be ridiculous. No, that's not going to happen. But EB, e-bike. Look what I've got here. Okay. I could do eb.info, which, by the way, they'll charge me a fortune for. EB Live is going to be really inexpensive. I didn't even know there was an LOL. But look at this. EB Pro. Let's see what they charge for this. If you go to probably take me to Hostinger or somebody else, I don't know why Hostinger, EB Pro, I would not buy from them. Well, that's ridiculous. That's $3,000. Let's do it a different way. If we do EB Live, okay, and I go to GoDaddy or something, which is where I would buy my domains. Why do I buy domains from GoDaddy when I know they're just scammy, spammy, and everything? Because when it comes to your domain hosting, GoDaddy owns the market for instantly being able to resolve your setup. So my point here is not to belabor this, and indeed, some short domains. Let's do eb.liv and see if it's something less than $5,000 or something. It's $199. Now, I don't know that I would spend that much money, but check this out. You could go eblive.net. That's still pretty darn short. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So either way you do it, all I'm saying is, let's say you did EB Live and you paid the premium, or you did eblive.net. You're really short, really easy to remember. And that way, when you use it, like I've been showing you to use it for any marketing, sales pages, like when I want you to tell me whether you like what I'm teaching you, you go to 1WDTV/have I helped. Now I had a whole office hours about using the link shortening that we have built into the kit, right? And when you do that, you're able to essentially create really short, really sweet snippet URLs that will take people to the various things you want them to do, like a marketing and sales page. But in our case, it's also because in the future, you're just going to do a landing page. So let's pretend, I'm not going to buy this today, but let's pretend that our Media Hub, okay, instead of it being called Media Hub, we'll just change this for fake. We're going to change it for settings general to be, eb.live Media Hub. Okay. And right now, it does not matter what you have as the theme underneath this, but you're not going to show any pages. You just need a home page. So I'm going to go to settings, reading, and if I don't have it already, I'm going to create a static page. Here, I'm just going to use the sample page as the home page. And one of the things I'm going to do, because we obviously use LaunchKit, is I'm just going to install or add Kadence. I can either do that directly or just click this button here, which I give to you as a convenience, because Kadence means that everything else that you may need to use is going to be available to you, even if you're just using it as a hub. Right. I want to say on the GoDaddy thing, I would not use GoDaddy for anything other than domain names, but they are the only ones I use for domain names. And there's a multitude of reasons, starting with the unbelievably quick resolution of the DNS, but also when you want to have team members, when you want to connect to services, everybody has a connector with GoDaddy, so that, for example, if you go to brevo.com and you use them for your SMTP services, Brevo has a one-click button that just sets up your whole DNS and authorizes the domain sender. I mean, come on. Why would you try to save a nickel and go to Namecheap and have to deal with all the aggravation? It doesn't make sense. Okay. So now that I've got Kadence as the theme, I'm just pointing out here on my Media Hub, let's just, let's assume Kadence is installed. Let's just take that sample page here, and we're just going to call it homepage, because we don't need to do anything other than repurpose it. And I'm just going to do nothing on this except just put a logo, right? So what I do here is I'll just disable the header. I'll make it full width, unbox it, disable the featured image, disable the header, disable the footer, disable everything. And what I'm going to do is clean off the page. And all I'm going to do is put a row. And by the way, one of the things I could do here, even though I technically don't need it, is I could put in Kadence blocks. I'm going to put it in just for fun because we don't really need it. We're not designing. But since I've got LaunchKit, I'm just going to enable Kadence Blocks Pro, right? So we just scroll on down to the Ks. Kadence Blocks Pro, Kadence Pro. And the only reason that I'm doing that is because I'm going to just put in a little nice little placeholder of a logo. By the way, you can get the logo or you can create the logo. So again, I've talked about this. I might as well carry on live. I would just go to Canva. Okay. And this is how stupidly simple this is. And just create a placeholder image where I'd say logo. And I can create a blank, or I could just use something cool. Like I'm going to use this one because I can. And I'm just going to, as simple as this, I'm going to just click on the word street. I'm going to do EB. And this one underneath it, I guess it's a two-factor. I don't know how it did that, to be honest. Let me undo that. I picked the one thing that's like multiple layers there. I guess I have to move this other one out of the way, and I'll take this one, EB, and I'll bring them back together. Cool. EB live. And same thing for the other one. Live. And my website about stuff. Okay. I've got in about that many seconds a cool logo that I'm now going to download. Because why should it be any harder? I'm going to limit this to 100 kilobits. It's only 500, but that's fine. And I'm going to make it a transparent background. So I'm going to have my pal Vince DePinto. Vince, if you're listening in today, come on, say hi. Vince is going to come on and do a show with me. We're going to talk about a modern way to replace all your old-fashioned high-end tools like Photoshop and so forth using Canva. But what I'm going to do is just as simple as this with Kadence. I'll go over here to Appearance Customize. I'll just add, oh, yes, Vinny. Vince and I are brothers, literally. There's no other person on the planet I've known longer and love more. So literally, I've known him my entire life. And he is exceptionally talented in the digital marketing space. So you're going to see more from Vince coming soon. Let's just go over here to header. We're going to change the logo. We're going to select the new logo. Now, important, I'm going to be adding something to the library. All right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. So let's add my new logo here. And this is going to be important to what I'm going to show you because I've just created a logo. Contemplate how many times you've created a logo and then shared it 80 billion places, right? When I go to Google Workspace, when I go to my Twitter feed, when I create my Instagram, anywhere I go, I have to have this gosh darn logo, don't I? Of course I do. Well, why should I have to make it 50 million times and share it 50 million places? Why not just have it in one place? Okay. So I'm going to put this in place, see how it looks. Let's just make it 150. We don't need much. And then let's have a look and see, maybe I'll adjust it. Let's see how we do with this. So when we go back over here to the site, I don't know what I did with that. I think because on this page, I'm not showing the header. Let's modify what Spence was doing and actually show the header on this because we can get away with it now that we've got a custom logo. So I'm going to go to the page settings here and I'm going to re-enable the header and the footer. And I'm going to change the name of this page to homepage. We're not going to actually see that, but it's okay. And one of the things I'm going to do, actually, I take back about showing the header on the header and footer. Instead, I'm going to just put it in the middle of the page, okay, for now. And I'm going to do that by using an advanced image. Again, this is stuff that I'm doing manually now, but in the future, I won't have to worry about that. Okay, and what I'll do with this is I'll just say align center. And here's a trick that I'm going to do too. If you've ever worked with Kadence and you want it to be like vertically taking up the whole page, do the row layout, go to block, advanced, and then structure setting. You can set the minimum height to VH, vertical height, 100 vertical height. And what that means is it will fill the whole page with what we've got. So I've right now got the header enabled and I've got the homepage with this, which is fine because I'm going to show you why that's important. This header thing, let's make that just a little tiny bit different because I think it's too big. We want a little padding and stuff. What I was trying to make a point of before was that we really on this hub don't need to have pages and content, but I'm going to show you how we might actually use some of the content. So I'm preparing for that concept by at least giving us a reasonable header area. Let's just use the logo maximum height. We'll make it 90. Let's make it 80 pixels, okay? And if you want, you can go here and using the lock tool, you can add a little padding on the whole header itself, but I don't really think it needs it. Okay, so now what I've given you is a way in whatever it took me there to create a hub that we can use. Let's just go to the homepage of this now. This is a hub that we can use where if somebody comes to this was Jason's problem, this was my problem. If you're trying to get approved for using a service like Brevo or another SMTP service, they're going to say, Dr. Hoover might acknowledge this as well. What's your business? Well, as far as it goes for using your hub and for marketing, guess what? Your business is, I just help clients online with WordPress sites. Okay. Don't tell them, you don't need to tell them all the various things that you might use the hub for, because the honest truth, the sincere truth is this is not a marketing site. This is not a site about cannabis or about sex toys or about anything else that might be prohibited. It's just a hub that holds content. So therefore you can get approved for signing up for something like Brevo. By the way, let's just show you how simple this is to sign up. I used to recommend SendGrid, and Vince can attest, many of you can attest. I've been demonstrating how difficult it is now with SendGrid because of the fact that they torture you with two-factor authentication. Brevo does not. So watch how easy it is to sign up for Brevo. Okay. With Brevo, you can sign up with Google or Apple, or you can use an email. Now, I actually have a Lab Secrets account that I can use. So I'm going to call this office hours 1 at labsecrets.com. And I'll just call this, give it a password, create an account. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to be up and running. It's going to ask me to validate my email address. I'm not going to show you my whole email over there, but I'm going to do it on my other screen. And all it's saying is just confirm my email address by clicking on this link. So I'm going to go here and paste that link. And unlike SendGrid, it's not texting my cell phone or calling my parents and asking if I was a nice kid when I grew up. Okay. Test person. EB Live. Let's just call this EB Live. And the website, I'm just going to give it right here. Okay, this is my website. I hope you can appreciate how incredibly easy this is compared to what you've tried for Amazon SES or SendGrid, whatever. 1234 Main Street, 60602, Chicago, USA. This is always the hardest part. When they don't put the United States first, I get 60 million other choices. Okay. Other than all that nonsense, I have 0 to 1. I have 0 to that. Do I sell online? You can decide what to say with this, because kind of the answer is no, because we're not doing any selling, but that's fine. Brevo has CRM tools. Now, this is to send a verification code. What I like about them is I can send that to my cell phone for multiple accounts, and they don't seem to care. I need to put in an area code. This is my business phone number, and it's going to send me a verification code here that I'm going to get on my desktop. Hold on one second. Stand by. The code is 259342. Verify. As simple as that. I'm in, baby. Now, remember I said to you how they have the GoDaddy tools and so on and so forth, right? I'm going to just stick with the free plan. This lets me send up to 300 emails a day. But look, it's $9 a month if I wanted to start, really doing stuff for 5,000 to 100,000 emails a month. I mean, come on. I would say most people $18 a month and you're good to go. So, if you're one of these people that are sending 1 million emails, like I had a call this week, somebody said they're sending 1 million emails a month. I said, how many people are turning into customers? Because if you're sending 1 million emails, you're doing something wrong unless you're living on a yacht. Honestly, because I would rather send out 500 emails or 5,000 emails a month and have 100 paying customers than 1 million emails and not be able to afford $18 a month. I mean, there's no logic there, right? The days of blasting people are over. Okay. So with this one, there's a choice that lets me stick to the current plan. I think I have to scroll down, or maybe I just have to get myself out of this. Hold on one second. I'm not sure why it's stuck on that screen. Hopefully this gets me back out. There we go. So just click the logo, get back out. And now all you need to do is get yourself an API key. Now, if I'm using this as a hub, I want to install Fluent CRM and Fluent SMTP. Okay, really simple. Just jump on over to your launch kit where you get all your software. Hello. By the way, we didn't do the setup. So let's just do the settings so we can get rid of all these notices at the top. Click the gray button, uncheck the second box to hide it from yourself. Dr. Hoover kind of heard me talking with him in that one because we've had that conversation 1 million times. So settings, turn on all of the administrative tools that will just bring civility back to your dashboard. And the rest of this is easy. So now we can just go to the installer and let's add Fluent SMTP, Fluent CRM, Fluent CRM Pro. Okay. So there's Pro, there's CRM, Fluent SMTP. I hope you guys appreciate, if you've ever used WordPress, how insanely fast and easy this is to manage your installation and software versus trying to go get plugins, trying to get keys, trying to install the plugins, waiting for all the wizards to try to take you to different places. If you use anything from Awesome Motive, he will hijack your life and install 15 plugins you didn't ask for. That's nonsense. This is what WordPress is supposed to be. It's supposed to be civilized, working for you. So I'm going to turn on these plugins and let's do the SMTP part to make this live. So I'll just activate. I think that should work to get those 3 going. Now let's configure the SMTP in advance of the CRM because we've already got this going. Guess what? Brevo's got a connector. Cool. Remember, I had sent out that email that was, the name of my email was called Office Hours. I got to remind myself, Office Hours 1 at Lab Secrets. Okay, so that is the email that I'm going to set up here. But I'm going to go to Brevo and I'm going to get the necessary API key. Here's an important thing. To get that, you have to go to the upper right corner to SMTP and API. Just the way they do it. And then click the second button here. Okay. Generate a new API key. Let's call it Office Hours Media Hub. Or I'm sorry, EB Live Media Hub. This is going to act as a place where all my stuff is saved, but I also can save it, share it, send it, use email. I copy this key. I go back over to my Fluent SMTP where it says store keys. I paste it, save it. I'm done. I am done. Now, honestly, I'm going to want to validate the email sender and I'm going to want to use the connector to GoDaddy to validate the domain. But otherwise, guess what? I'm done. Now, this says Sendinblue. Don't worry. That was the name that they used to be called. Let's send out a test message to see if this works, right? I'm going to log all the email. I am allowing this to send the email. So it's not in simulation mode. It's in real mode. Let's send out a test. I'm going to send it from this to myself. And I'm going to tell you if I got it. Because it says that it was sent, but I'm going to tell you on my other screen because I'm not going to share my live email screen because there's too much in there that you guys don't need to see. And I'm going to show you the Brevo screen too, because there might be a need to do one validation. So I'm going to make sure also that I look into my spam because sometimes it will come into spam. And it came into my spam. So what I can tell you about it is there's 2 reasons it's in spam. One is it's not like an email that I've ever received before. And it says weird stuff like test email. Who cares? When you get the email, just simply validate that and say not spam. And from that point on, you'll continue to get your own test messages. But the bottom line is it's working. I am up and running. So now I've got a hub and I can use this for Fluent CRM. And we're not going to go into great detail here, but let's just go to Fluent CRM and just do the basic settings. By the way, Vinny, we had a client, a couple clients of Vince's. We spent all day with the client trying to get text messages from SendGrid, like, is this legitimately you changing the screen? And every single thing we did was another text message. No more. Okay. So for Fluent CRM, we want to set up always one main list, even if you have lots of different business ideas. The only time you want more than one list would be if you have a situation where you have clients that are completely unrelated, that will never, ever be in the same business. Otherwise, having one list means that you have like one ballroom where all the people are in wearing name tags, and we can segment much easier. So we're going to call this EB Live, and it's 1234 Main Street, Chicago, 60602. Now, remember, cool. We're already in the hub. Already got the logo. Couldn't be easier, right? I'll just use the clipped one. That's 262. And if I want to use the admin email address, that was you'd think I would have remembered Office Hours 1. Listen, folks, I'm 58. If I can remember my name, it's a good day. office hours 1 at labsecrets.com. I'm done essentially with creating the lists. Now I want to create just a couple tags so I can just double check I've got, actually I didn't make the list. So let's make the list and we're going to call this main list. All my clients and prospects. Okay. By the way, I want to make a comment here. With regard to what I showed this week, I showed a fully automated desktop AI Jarvis, the Minilaunch AI system. You are not going to have to do what I'm showing you here very soon. You're just going to have like a step that's a pre-made step that I'll tell you what to say, or it'll be a choice that'll say, set up my Brevo, set up my Fluent CRM, set up whatever. And it'll just set it up for you. Because all this moving around and doing this is on the way out. I say that with love in my heart. Why should we be futzing around with doing this stuff? I could set this up like, hey, Jarvis, do this. And I want to show you something right now just to prove how ridiculous this is, even though this isn't my intent. And it's 10:40, so I don't want to keep you guys longer than you want to be. I'm going to turn on browser MCP. Okay. And Jason says, I hope unrelated clients. Yes, Jason, that's the one concept. If you have different clients that are unrelated, different content, different whatever, that would be where you'd have a different list for them. But if they have even a remote possibility of having some common interest with you, it makes more sense to use tags or groups to segment instead of using lists. That's my point. I'm just going to say, I've got you can't really see it here, but I've got my desktop, or I'm running my agent, which is cursor.com. And you can't see what I'm showing, unfortunately, because if I share my whole desktop, I guess I can. Well, I could do it. I'd have to change the setup. Just trust me, because you can watch the video. And I'm going to say to it, I'm going to type in, I'm going to say, hey, can you browse now on the screen to, and let me give it just this URL, to this URL and see the Fluent CRM setup page. I'm asking it to browse for me, because what's going to happen very soon is I'm going to be demonstrating to you guys an interface that you can use on your desktop or in the browser that, like I showed you yesterday, you're just going to be able to talk to it and it's going to browse for you. So it's taking over the screen now. In fact, maybe I should just share the thing with you, because otherwise this is going to look like I'm full of shit. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share my whole desktop. It's going to be really big for you guys. I'm sorry, who are on a laptop or something, but I don't care. Okay. You can see how I've got my thing set up. Okay. I am going to use Whisper Talk here to talk to it. I'm going to say, click into the screen. I'm going to say, can you give me some help setting up the rest of Fluent CRM by browsing to the Fluent CRM settings tab? It's going to operate my browser as if I was operating it to do, and it can do it for me either by moving the mouse on the screen or programmatically. And in this case, I'm just demonstrating real quick. Hopefully, there you go. Hold on. Hopefully I can. This is interesting. It might be a bridge too far to share the whole screen. There it is. Okay. Underneath here is my cursor.com. I can tell that this is like, it's really struggling to share my whole screen. So I can only do this just for a second because I don't have the horsepower on my computer without crashing it. I am able, using my cursor, to move the mouse around, browse to the various things. But I can tell already that if I keep doing this, it's going to take my computer out of action. So you're going to have to trust me on this. I'll do a video on this, more details. But let's go back to the setup. I'm just going to go back to sharing simply the browser window. On my list for this weekend is to buy myself a more powerful desktop with video. Okay, so back to this. We've now got Fluent CRM. We would probably just add tags, a couple basic tags, like bought this, did this, right? So sample tag 1 and sample tag 2. And let's take a gut check what we've got. We now have a site that has a very short URL. We probably want to do the things, by the way, in addition to the CRM and the sales pages, in addition to saving and sharing media and things that Spencer's going to throw out, we probably want to do that shortened link, right? So if we go back to the launch kit, we're going to add ClickWhale. ClickWhale is the thing that I've shown in another video that lets me make these really cool custom short links. And I've got ClickWhale Pro in the kit now. So this is really super awesome. But even with the basic one, it doesn't matter. It just lets you create custom short links for anything that you need so that you can have eb.live/ don't do that. Don't do the that upsell thing. Okay. You can do really short things with whatever you want to do here. And that way I don't have to have this URL that's 8 million miles long. Finally, let's do a sample real quick of a client. Let's do a sample of one of my other websites. So if you can imagine, I've got this hub and it's got the CRM, the SMTP, it's got the ability to do sales pages, it's got the ability to do link shortening. We can add Fluent forms for taking in stuff. We can put in even WooCommerce for selling stuff. But now let's share the media. If we go to this particular site where I've got the hub, this is where I'm going to drop all my goodies and my knowledge off. So for example, whether I create it on my own, create it with AI, drop it in here. Here, for example, was today's logo. If I were to go and add media to the file, I can do it manually, like using the API from Pexels or getting an image, or I can even do like, this is kind of cool. Pexels is built in. If I just were to go to Kadence and add a page, that gives me access to the media library. I don't have to actually save the page. I just go here and I shortcut it. And this is a quick way to get to Pexels. Just go in here and say image, advanced image, and then select image. And now you have access to Pexels right here. And I can search for stuff like e-bikes. Pick something super awesome, one or more things, download it to your library. Okay. You could also do that manually, or you can do that by using the Pexels API by going pexels.com, and I could search for e-bikes. And if I find something here, all I need to do is to grab the URL of an image I want. Like here's two folks that I'd probably be hanging out with. I can either download it or I can just, right, different sizes. I wouldn't do that huge size, by the way. I would do like probably medium. Or even better, I can not hot link it, but I can grab it by saying copy, right click, copy image address. And you can just hot link it, because when you want to replace this, you can, let's do it over again. You can use the URL. So if I did image, advanced image, insert from URL, hello, and it can go and grab it. Now you can hot link it if you know the source. That's what we're getting to here. But my point is we really want to add to our library. So let's do it the right way. And let's just take that image that we just got and go to our hub and upload that to the media library, right? So that new one I just downloaded, properly attributed and so forth, Pexels team. You don't have to change that because you can leave the attribution there. We've now got it in the hub. So we've got a hub that's doing all our stuff. If anybody, including the SMTP services, comes a snooping, unless we tell them the URL, all they're going to see is just this. Okay, I would probably not even bother with the header on this page like we talked about. It would just be this. So for right now, I'll go back to what I started with and I'll turn off the header and the footer. Just like I do for 1WDTV. Okay, so go to the page settings, disable header, disable footer. Nobody's the wiser what's going on under the hood. I have a MacBook Air laptop M2 that is blazing fast. I'm using an Intel NUC i5 that's running all this. The problem isn't the i5 or the Intel. It's my graphics. It's the onboard graphics, and it's a crappy Radeon old graphics. I need to get the Radeon 8970 in a standalone card to handle some of this fun stuff. Okay, so now we could go geek on that all. Now somebody only sees this like they see 1WTV, but if I go to another site, so here's a new site. This could be another business of mine called Office Hours, or it could be a client who's paying me to access what I want to offer. All we need is, number one, on this site, we install the Media Hub client plugin from the Launch Kit bundle. So in Launch Kit, right here, you just go in and look for Media Hub, LM Media Hub 1.01, and install it. I've already installed it. Then when it's installed, you just go to Settings, Media Hub. All you got to do, and this is why you own this baby, is just set up essentially a private connection from your server for this individual. Now, at the moment, this has just a one-to-one relationship. Any client you want to connect, just give them an individual user authentication. I am going to be putting in further management, and I'm also going to be putting in the Minute Launch AI helper, which will allow it to Tony Stark Jarvis this whole thing. In other words, not only make the connection, but also manage which things it could get to based on the subscription level, the marketing automation, and more. For right now, first thing you do is put in the URL of the hub. Okay, so we know what that is. We have that here. Okay. Number two, we need the hub username. This is this person on this other site, or it's the name of this other site, so that you can keep them separate. And what you want to do is you go on the Media Hub to any authorized administrator. So what I do is I just give it my profile. I go to user my profile, and I'm going to create an authentication account, or an application password, I should say. So go to your profile as the administrator, or if you wish, you could create a proxy account of a user here and give them as administrator application password. I don't think you want to do that for other people, but what you can do is just create placeholder emails. So for example, let's say Dr. Hoover was a client and I want to give him access to my hub media and other content. I don't need to actually give him access to log in. Sorry, Dr. Hoover, but I can just create an email that says Dr. Hoover at Lab Secrets. And it's just a placeholder because nobody ever needs to use it. It's just a way to hold the name. What I'm going to do here though is I'll just call it Dr. Hoover, and I'll make one under my current Help at WP Launchify account. I make this. It's going to give me this new password as Dr. Hoover. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to say for his thing, Dr. Hoover, and I'm going to paste the password. Then I'm going to save the settings. Then I'm going to test the connection to make sure it's good. It's going to tell me if I'm high-fiving or not. Okay. I don't know if it is or isn't. For some reason, it's not showing it, but that must be good. If it had an error, that would be bad. Here's now what I can do. I go to the media library. Let's just make sure this is done too. I'm going to update the profile. By the way, see how I can revoke these? If Dr. Hoover and I no longer are working together, I can say, bye-bye, Dr. Hoover. That's not going to happen, but you can see what I mean. I can just say bye-bye. But in the actual remote site that Dr. Hoover's got, he's getting access to all my goodies. Jason, if you're listening, this is for you. This is for a lot of you guys. Let's go to the media library. In the media library, I have added an accessory tool that I'll show you in a second called FileBird. But if I go here and refresh the remote media, and then I filter on remote only, check out what I've got, folks. I've got the Pexels thing. I've got the Pexels thing. I've got the logo thing, the logo thing. I've got all the remote media that's living in this hub. And I do not have to repeat it. I don't have to upload it again. Here's the use case. Spence uploads his logos, his image, his favorite stuff that he's created at Canva. He puts it into one spot. He uploads it from his phone. Spence is in the hot tub. He's got a brilliant idea. He's creating something that's an LLM type of instruction set or a document or a directory. I don't have time to do all of these examples, so I'm just doing media this morning. I load it to my hub from the hot tub on my phone. Now it's available for me to use on other sites that I own or to distribute to my very beloved client base and members of WP Launchify. And if you need this system for yourself and your clients, guess what? You don't have to build it. It's already here. Now, I'm going to extend this idea a bit because I'm going to give you a look under the kimono of my local computer. I am running and really working on testing this. I've got two things I want to show you. First, I want to show you with the Minute Launch AI, where I'm at with it today. This is a daily practice where I'm building and improving and adding so many cool things. Mac Studio is amazing. I need to have both Mac and PC for various reasons. So I like to have them both connected to one monitor here, which I use a tool that lets me share the mouse and the keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to log into this local site, which is running my current version of the Minute Launch AI as I build it. And what I want to show you and what I want to share with you is, unlike a lot of the other AI stuff that's going on with MCP or WordPress in general, I have an advantage. The advantage I have is that I have the curated stack of stuff that I can use to specifically train what it is that my AI is expert at. And that includes not just the content and the various machines like Fluent CRM or WooCommerce or Launch Flows or whatever, but it also involves the types of customers, the database, even systemic stuff. So what my goal is to show you right now, for example, with the current version that I've got on the boards, which is very functional, I've got a couple things that are pretty cool. First of all, for you guys, what's going to be available is you can use your own API keys, but out of the box, I'm going to give you an API key that's distributed with a certain amount of credit through OpenRouter. And the reason for that is that way I can just make it as easy as just pay your $20, turn it on, and you can have your Media Hub client doing all this crazy stuff you want it to do. If you go 97 and you get the rest of the software, even better, because what you're going to get then is everything that the Minute Launch software bundle can do, plus an AI that does everything that will be available to use, you guessed it, the marketing and the automation and the other scripts and knowledge that have been built in. Now, ignore the layout of this for one moment. It's not important. What I want you to understand is this is the front end that currently exists. One of the things is I'm putting all of this on the back end. You won't really ever need to see it after you set it up. But one of the things I've done is created, for example, an OpenRouter ability. So I can provide you open access to, just like cursor.com gives me, any of the LLMs that you want to use, and it can bill you up to a certain amount of credits as part of your package, or you can then bypass it and use your own. Notice I've got controls here to let me force using one or the other, etc. You can also set up all the other context, like which of the post types we can use, and the methodologies and the service keys for doing things like your social network sharing or creating images on Flow. All of this is just going to be set up and ready to go. It's a black box for WordPress that has the ability to do all the incredible stuff that I've been showing you, including, notice this little mic button. You'll be able to just talk to this directly on your website through your microphone, or eventually, not today, but like eventually I'll just do it so you can do it through your phone as well. But here's a cool example of stuff. I can do whatever I need to know what's in the system. And imagine if you extend your mind that I've got the Media Hub that has all the cool things that are in your mind or your media or your content or your social network, and you want to index it, share it, create content. Having the AI being able to connect to that is a big deal. Like, for example, list out all the plugins on this site, including versions. I'm just throwing this out here for a second. I'm going to allow it now manually. This will be automatic in the future because I'm just doing tests here. Internal post type search. This allows me to essentially have the AI go out and understand for an answer or for response exactly what's in the site at that moment. not just the posts and the pages or the social media stuff, but like literally what's running under the hood. It will be able to automatically manage your site with the minute launch software to keep you up to date. Here's all the stuff in the versions. It's not very hard for you to imagine that this can connect to your hub and get the latest updates from whatever it is that's in the hub that I'm offering to you, or you could do that for your clients. It's not hard to imagine that instead of you clicking to the Launch Kit tab and getting the various plugins, you could say, I need to do a marketing campaign about blah, blah, blah. And this sets it all up. It gets and turns on and configures all the various plugins that are available in the kit. It goes ahead and gets the best results from all of my clients about what a marketing campaign might look like. It allows it to automatically create things like I've shown you before, a YouTube video campaign. So let's look today. I've shown you this before. If we took today's video and I wanted to do a follow-up campaign about it, I'm not going to write that from scratch. I'm going to basically today manually, but shortly have my Jarvis, go ahead and put the URL in with Fluent CRM and just automatically create a draft of what it is that I just had in the YouTube video. So let's look at this campaign. It's just been created as fast as that. And of course I would edit this and do various things now, but I'm just trying to explain to you the future of WordPress, the future of the marketing, in my view of the world, is that I've already got the tools for you guys. It costs you $97 a month. And if you have clients, you can refer your clients here. If we put them all on the IKEA system that Spence has built, you can sell this for shit tons of money and be an expert, or you can use these tools for your own business and make tons of money by not doing crazy manual stuff anymore. I've already got all of the components built and put together, and we're just perfecting it. And this has really revolutionized our build out. But I want to tell you one more thing because it's 11 o'clock. Julie and I have been building. Yes. And that's one of the things I want to say. I want to make a comment. When I showed you Cursor in my last video, I'm running Cursor to control my browser. But right now, Microsoft is working on a OS MCP, which will, as scary as it sounds, allow it to control your desktop environment completely, which I can do now through various other connectors. But imagine that you can connect your AI at your desktop or in your MacBook or in your iPhone or whatever it is. It's kind of scary because it could really you could wake up the next morning and your life could be destroyed. But it could be awesome too, because what I'm getting at is all the things of clicking and dialing and moving knobs, and it's stupid. We don't need that anymore. And in fact, that's the reason that Julie and I have been making so much progress. I want to share with you an update on that. We had been building out, I'm going to go to the site. We had been building out using a couple tools, a solution for her business, which is Halise, which is skeet shooting. And one of the things that we had imagined when we started Vibe Coding together, Julie, you're okay, I think, with me talking about this. So if you want me to not talk too much about it, let me know. But I think we're okay. She was one of the first Vibe Coding clients I had on the VIP system. And what's so awesome about this is that she is both a genius, knows her business and clients, but together we were able to go from, let's do an MVP of this, to what is the new way we're going to build stuff. So what I'm showing you here is, thank you, by the way. We went from, okay, let's take the stack of old tools, Kadence and Kadence Blocks, Kadence Blocks Pro, advanced custom fields, custom post type UI, blah, blah, blah. And me moving the knobs and dials and us talking about building templates and doing this and custom elements, that, and oh my God. And we got it to work. I showed you last week how we had this incredible custom setup for managing the entire business she's got. But then this week, yesterday, I believe it was, right, Julie? We had 2 hours together. I said, do you want to take a jump across the river with me and see if we can just use cursor.com, vibe code, turn this all into a full plugin, like literally getting rid of 2, 3, 4, 5 different plugins that we don't need anymore. She said, yeah. And we did it. And it works. And I'm blown away. So it created a custom plugin that now is essentially the future of what I think WordPress is. Custom created plugins. In 2 hours, we did this. And it's maybe not done, but I want to show you what we've already been able to do. The administration of this has 4 custom post types. There's going to be an administrator page. It created the custom post type for races. It allowed us to create a duplicate, gorgeous interface for adding the race information. Okay, we don't need to show this field, including, Julie, you didn't see this, but I pulled it off. Even like the gorgeous custom toggle switches, the drop downs, the date selectors. This is the best part. This here, the race options, is essentially like if you had the capability of doing a dynamic content in ACF Pro, it's a ton of setup. This allows us to create what we're calling different options in the race. So here it says another race. It should say another option. We'll call this, Dirty Birdie. And what this is like bets in Vegas. The purse is $5,000 and it pays 50%, 30%, 20%. And now when we save that, this race, which is call it like a tournament, has different options, which are bets. And then in the end, this information is combined with the shooter scores. But it also allowed us in like literally a couple hours to create the post types for things like the clubs. So that when she's selling her membership and the registration using all the other stuff, exactly, it is awesome. It's crazy. Here's, for example, the ability to create the clubs. This is not any longer using ACF. This one I want to show you because, see, I still have to style this, which is one of the things I'll do. This just spits out the fields right now, but it's still functional right off the bat. If I go over here, I think tournaments, let's see if it's got that set up yet. Tournaments it added, but I don't think we have the custom fields in. So this is where the vibe coding comes in. Right. This just has like start and end date. It doesn't have the details. The end result is that we will have one plugin that started with a bunch of plugins, but that is custom curated to work out of the box with the AI. And then let's just show you this in action. On this demo site, even though it's on my desktop, I think this will still work with the Minute Launch Hub. Let's just test it because, I always love to do this without a net. I'm just going to add in here an account. By the way, the neat thing with using Minute Launch Kit is that you can add any client anywhere. If you've got the Pro, you get up to 10 clients you can add. If you have one, you can add one. But there's no license keys or other nonsense. You just use your WP Launchify login credentials and you're good to go. So let's see. I'm on my desktop. It's a little slow to talk, but let's see if it works. Hold on. First, I got to log in. There we go. So I'm just going to add the Minute Launch Media Hub. Let's do exactly what we did. We're going to make a new client called Julie. Okay. So I'm going to go over here and enable it. What I want you guys to understand is primarily my business is folks like you. Almost everybody here today that I can see has got their own business that they have clients. Not just for them, but like they're going to sell stuff using WordPress as the service. This is where I excel. You guys with the Pro accounts, it's $29.70 a month for the full stack. If you get the, Pro kit, if you go with the individual stuff, your clients come and you get paid a referral of $20 a month and they just pay me directly. Either way you do it, it's a huge win for you because everything I'm showing you here is available to them. So I'm going to go Media Hub. I'm going to turn it on. Minute Launch Media Hub client. And then I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to create, let's make a new one, Julie. The application password at the hub. Now, obviously, this is going to be automated, so it'll be a WooCommerce product that you can sell that will automatically create these credentials, right? Right. Okay. One of the things I want you to understand too is built into the $97 a month package that I sell, or with even the $20 a month extra Rocket Site, or with the $29.70 a month, it's daily backups automated. If you want to add more, I already give you for free the Prime Mover, or you can use any of the other plugins that allow you to make multiple backups. I would recommend doing them off site. And so we work without a net. We just do things live. And if you break it, you just roll it back. I did this with Julie. We broke some stuff. We just rolled it back. It's easy. We don't need to do staging. Staging is a dinosaur. Here's Julie's credentials. Let's go put them in. Let me get to the right screen. One of these is the right screen. Hold on. This is what happens when I get too many setups at once. That's one WD. That's one WD. Here it is. Halise Local. So let's go over to settings, Media Hub. Let's see if we can connect her up. Imagine you've got, Dr. Hoover and I were talking about this. Imagine you've got practitioners or some clients that don't know anything. Jason, we were talking about this. You could provide them not just all the media, but you can also provide them all of the Fluent CRM marketing campaign stuff where they could just get it. It's a JSON file, bloop, it automatically loads it, and all of the stuff they need, from the tags to the campaigns to the email templates, it's all there, ready to go, including the imagery. I mean, how much is that worth to them? Infinite, because setting stuff up is where the hard stuff is. And when you don't have a stack of IKEA flat pack stuff that works together, everybody's got to go read different directions on the differences. And Jason, you and I are working together now for that very reason, right? Okay, so let's put in Julie's username. Let's put in the password, and then I'm just going to manually copy this URL because it's a weird one. It would be nice if it was EB Live, but it's not yet. Okay, and I'm going to paste that in here without the slash. Let's save it. Let's test. Oh, see, the testing does work. I don't know why it didn't work before. It should say okay. Very good. Let's go to the media library, folks. WordPress is not dying. This is a point I want to talk about. Not dying. WordPress as it was is not going to continue. WordPress as the framework for what I'm doing is the future. That's my bet. I'm going to put a flag in that today, come back in 6 months, a year, 2 years. WordPress, Mullenweg WordPress is dying. WordPress is the framework underneath that allows us to own and control this. There's nothing else available that's open source, Jace. That's the point. All the other platforms are not open source. It's all platforms. They control you, your clients, your data, your destiny. With WordPress and this, I can make something happen for you and everybody else on a large scale that already runs half the internet. We just have to stop going to the flea market and buying stuff from rando people. Okay. Let's see if we got what we need. We're going to go to the remote server. See if we got anything. No media found. Now, could be a couple reasons for that. One reason could be I am on my desktop. I have not tested this with the desktop. And because I'm on my desktop, it's not a real site. You see where it says not secure up at the top? I may have to, for example, log in. The reason that might not work is because there's a firewall. And I'm not apologizing for it because I'll do another site to show that it works. But I'd have to log back in here. Let's see if I can do it this way. Cloud. You have to be on a secure site in order for the authorization to work. Simple as that. I was surprised that that testing thing worked. So let's do this. If not, I'll just do a quick zip WP and show you because it works 100% every time. If I could log in here from my desktop, let me do one thing. Let's use my login here. SSL is on, but again, this is just how it rolls sometimes. Never, ever tested it from my desktop. Okay, I'm going to call, probably not going to work, but to save my face, I'm going to do this. Let's just go to zipwp and just launch a free site, or I'm sorry, let's do try.new and launch a new site. I don't own or control this. This is just Adam Presser and Sujay's thing. So here's a brand new site. Let's just add the Media Hub client plugin. So to get that, I'll save time and I'm just going to download it here. And I'm only going to put that in. Okay. So let's just upload that one plugin, add plugin. So let's pretend this is a normally hosted, not desktop site, which it is. Media Hub, install, activate, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to settings, Media Hub. I'm going to first get this site URL. Then I'll get Julie's key again, which I still have here. Julie, paste the key, save, crossing fingers. I'm 99.9% sure this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I'd be surprised. I'll figure it out. But it 99.9. See, it said found possibly 5. So it must have been my desktop. If we go to the media library, ta-da, should be. Now, what's interesting to me is let's try to do something, because maybe what it's getting stuck on, which is possible. Let's add one media item locally. I never thought about this before, but it's possible that might be a reason for what it's needing in order to cough up. Could be something else too. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just grab that logo thing. What's weird here is this isn't letting me even upload at all. So, oh, there it is. Okay, it's there. Okay, let's try it now. Let's do refresh remote media, crossing my fingers. We got it. Okay, there it is. So if we go remote only and filter, there's all of my other stuff available now to Julie, who's a client of mine. Now that I'm looking at that, I want to go back over here to my Halise local, and I'm going to click on this view here, which is my list view. I want to see if maybe that was something. I'm going to click refresh remote media and see if that kicks it out. I'm always curious. Remote only. And there it goes. So, okay. I guess it did work. What you have to do is you have to go into list view and at least first refresh the media first. I'll improve that. All right. I want to say thanks to everybody. Hopefully I gave you some inspiration, and also as far as what I want you guys to do. Most of you are already my clients. I want you to gather all your ideas, your clients, bring them in. If you are interested in working with me directly, if you're not already on the VIP or using the Pro prepaid for the year, this kind of stuff is coming out of the sky. Every day there's 10 new things for me to manage and put in. But what I'm really excited about is I have a very focused concept. And again, I'm a little belligerent about it. I see the future of WordPress so incredibly bullish. We've got the new FAIR Act, which takes away control of the plugin repository from Mullenweg and gives it to other people. We've got so many businesses and companies and things, including WooCommerce, that have an incentive to do great stuff. Jason, you have a good point, but without being argumentative, I don't want it to have more websites. That is the dumbest thing ever that Mullenweg said when he said, oh, everybody and their mother should have a WordPress website. No. You know why? If you go to an amazing restaurant, fine dining, it's a bunch of people that pay a lot of money or have a lot of really taste and good food. Okay? That's what they want. They want the best experience. You know what you can't do when you have 10,000 freeloaders asking for free French fries? You can't do that. So you're right that WordPress has been always historically trying to do volume. I don't have any care over that one way or the other, because what I care about is when I'm using the tools, and Julie and I did this the other day, I went out and tried to build with Google Firebase an application using whatever, Node.js or whatever their platform was. Then I go to WordPress. I have a 20-year history of everything like the back of my hand of solid, hardcore PHP, HTML, CSS, Node.js, React, and so forth. Things that are reliable, that are already connected to an infinite amount of world infrastructure. Everything from the gateways to the API connectors. It's got open source built in with the guarantee of your ownership and control. I will tell you one other thing I'll plant my own flag in the sand on. All of these companies now who are doing AI stuff, especially the ones that give you a ready-to-go box, like your law firm for $50,000, guess what they're doing? They're putting in closed source, very punitive clauses about the cost and the payments and the ownership and their right to use your stuff. And that's the problem, because my origin story on all of this started back in Ning in 2006, where myself and one other guy successfully demonstrated what I'm trying to do for you guys now, which is to make a public service, a human-based service for fun and smart people to do cool things. And they said one thing and then did another. They said that you can own your own data. They took it away. They said you can do what you want and sell it. They took it away. They had their lawyers going after me in public. Mullenweg has lost his mind and attacked his clients. He's got lawsuits up the wazoo for this now. He's got at least 2 class actions and a bunch of private lawsuits. WordPress has nothing to do with that. The code of WordPress has been WordPress all along, built by us, those of us in the community. And what I'm saying is its problem was not being delivered in this kind of an efficient way as a system. But now with the ability to do what I can do and add AI on top, you benefit, Jason, because I know you've retained me, and that's awesome. Everyone else here benefits. And what I can predict is that I would rather there be 5 people using WordPress, one of them being me, for my thousands of clients, than 100 million freeloaders distracting all the developers. And the other thing is, I don't need them to continue improving it and updating it. I wish they would stop, because when they improve and update stuff, what they try to do is like what Apple just did with that transparency thing on the latest iOS, Crystal. I don't know if you've gotten stuck on your iPhone on that, but like all of a sudden everything is transparent. It's like Superman's fortress, and you can't do anything anymore because somebody had to justify their existence by changing what was already working. And that's horrible. So hope you guys have an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend. If you're fathers or have fathers, have a great Father's Day weekend. I will continue to crank this out. If you guys want to work with me on a VIP or otherwise, just reach out. We'll talk about your stuff. But I'm going to continue to give you more of these ideas. And hopefully today you saw how easy it is to set up your clients for a hub, just for doing the Fluent CRM marketing, just for doing the forms, just for doing sales pages, just for doing even e-commerce. Why wouldn't you set them up on that and use Brevo in the way I showed you? You're going to be out the door in no time flat. I'll see you guys on the next video. Love you all. Take care.